that right now.
Okay.
We're,
Yeah, because I don't see everybody, so.
we do have visitors here at the ASC and they can hear and see you up on the screen right now.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
hello.
Hello.
You can be there.
They wave back and say hello.
Okay, it's 6:30. Well, it's call to order. Julie, can you do the roll call?
Nancy Kupka,
Present?
Sherelle Fuller,
Here.
Dan Nicholas,
Here.
Terry Pavasich,
Here.
Rick Pavanato. Rick Pavanato. Thank you. Joanna Vasquez Drexler.
Present.
Thank you.
We have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the
to the flag
flag
of the
of
United
the
States of
United
America,
States of America and
to
to
the republic for
for
which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
Nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
and
liberty for all.
liberty,
and
justice for all.
Okay, I believe we start with student perspectives, student board member questions and comments.
No, those we're postponing for next week.
Okay,
So directly into the board workshop. And the only item we have for tonight is the report on community transmission metrics, which continue to be insubstantial, although metrics have improved over the last week.
mhm.
The DuPage County Health Department is still concerned about, is there going to be a Thanksgiving spike that follows in the coming weeks? They said it takes 7 to 14 days for those numbers and those cases to start showing up. So although overall it looks like people are doing more of what they should be and the numbers are decreasing. So good news overall in the last week, but still strongly in the substantial area and above the threshold that we would have for returning to school at this time. So that's my only report. Any questions from board members?
Next week, we're going to talk about the plans, the tentative plans for next semester.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be next board meeting. We'll start with the results of the surveys that went out on our last round of learning. Gina and that team are putting together a presentation on our findings from those surveys. And then we'll go from that into our plans for return to in-person instruction that are heavily weighted based on those survey results.
Okay.
And can you plan on going live?
You know, Dan, I didn't hear a word you said.
Yeah.
Just ask, will we be in person or Zoom next week?
I haven't, I need to talk to district council to find out if under tier 3 we're able to return, but it's likely that if tier 3 mitigations aren't relaxed, that will still be virtual.
Hank, how are other schools able to go back during all this under tier 3? Arlington Heights just voted to go back. Hinsdale, the Catholic schools, if they can go back, why can't we at least try to a hybrid model?
Sure. Really what it's connected to is a combination of where the metrics are currently and the instructional models that are in place. With our instructional model being 50% of the students at a time, we're much different than some of those models that are bringing in much smaller groups of students at a time. It's also based on the metrics in our area in DuPage County. You know, when you look at each school, you need to look at both their location and their programming and what the metrics look like in our community. What we had committed to in our community was for the first semester that we needed to see 2 weeks of improving metrics and be out of the substantial community transmission level to return to our hybrid model that we had in place. In our full design, that design was built to keep students and staff safe under those levels of community metrics. Currently, we're outside of that, and we haven't been trending back inside of it since, since we left the hybrid model. So we're reevaluating all of that data. We're looking at the metrics and how that will work, and we'll present on all of that next week. But under everything that we set and structured for this semester and what we communicated to families about safety and how we would monitor that, we're outside of that at this time. So we're looking at everything and reevaluating if we can modify that for second semester, and that's what we'll bring next week. But right now, we're well outside of the range that we said that we would be running school under. Any other questions? All right, Nancy, reception of visitors.
Reception of visitors. So this is an opportunity for audience members to address the board on any topic pertaining to Community High School District 99. Comments are limited to 3 minutes to provide all visitors an equal opportunity to address the board. Individuals needing more time should submit their thoughts in writing to the board secretary, Mrs. Nidak. Visitors addressing the board need to come to the microphone and state their name. The proceedings are being tape recorded for the purpose of producing accurate meeting minutes, and they are being broadcast. And then I, as the board president, reserve the right to modify these protocols if circumstances warrant. Please, your observation of these protocols is appreciated.
All right, and we have some visitors in the room. I'll bring them up in a second. We also had the online form open. Over the course of the day, we received 24 comments. All of them encourage the administration and the board to second semester have students return to in-person learning and provide a variety of suggestions of things we should consider as we plan to do that. All of those comments will be provided in whole form to the board tomorrow and will be made part of the official board minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Thiele.
With that, give me a second to turn on the camera and microphone for the,
Okay.
in the room, and then they can come up and one at a All right, can you guys hear me? Yes?
A little muffled, but yeah.
So one at a time, come on up, and I'll wave at you when you're going on the phone.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for allowing visitors to come and speak tonight. My name is Carrie Norris. I have 4 children, and one of them is currently a sophomore at Downers Grove South.
Could we speak up? I can't hear very well. Is there a way to turn the volume up?
I'll reset your time.
Do you have your computer fully loaded, Terry? Turn up your volume on your
Yeah, you guys are fine. It's at the ASC that isn't.
I
Yeah,
could
what's
hear
your
it okay.
speaker at though, Terry?
Yeah, check your
Yeah.
speaker setting.
Up your
It's
speakers.
at max.
Okay.
All right, we're as loud as we can go here. So.
All right, sorry, I don't know.
So please start over, sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. My name is Carrie Norris. I have 4 children. One of them is currently a sophomore at Downers Grove South. And I'm just here to express our family's desire to see District 99 open up and get our students back into the building next semester. I want to tell you why it's so important to us. My husband and I work full-time out of the house. We have no at-home option to work, and our 4 kids are on their own while we're at work. My sophomore son is a part of District 99's Special Service Department. He has a learning disability and he's serviced with an IEP. His disability wasn't diagnosed until 7th grade, so his first experience under the special education guidelines didn't occur until 8th grade. At this time, late in his education career, he was full of anxiety, fear, tons of self-doubt, and it truly was one of the most difficult years that we as his parents faced. Then he arrived at Downers Grove South, and he discovered his caseworker and his team of teachers was full of wonderful people. He admired them, he felt comfortable. He immediately just dug into high school, really loved it. And during his freshman year, we saw a brand new kid. He was happy, he was excelling, he was finally comfortable in his own skin. He was easily reaching out to his teachers and getting the extra help he needed when he needed it. He was proud of himself and happy he was earning A's and B's. We no longer doubted his academic future at this time, as we were seeing him rise and conquer. We saw his self-esteem increase for the first time ever. Now COVID is here, and of course we did expect some difficulty, but we never imagined that his in-person instruction time, which is what he needs to succeed, would be diminished so greatly. We feared the ramifications of remote learning, but we felt confident that a hybrid model could at least fill in some of the blanks for him. But then our hybrid model seemed to diminish too. 12 hours in the building during semester 1, and that was it. Our son has given up. We're at the point where he's just done. He has regressed academically and socially and emotionally. It's like we're looking at that 8th grade version of him all over again. Hopeless, no drive to succeed, rising self-doubt, rising anxiety, and fear of the future. Feelings of hopelessness for college and/or a sustainable career. He feels he can't do it. He feels he's not capable of learning anything. His grades are suffering greatly. I'll submit the rest through the form. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kate Benton. I'm a parent of 3 students enrolled with District 99. I am also a pediatric psychologist on staff at Lurie Children's Hospital. Board members, as you have seen, the latest studies and the recommendations from national experts are all confirming not only the safety of in-person learning, but how crucial it is to get our kids back in the classroom. Excuses for not opening the schools are drying up, while repercussions of keeping them closed are piling up. Educational losses are only the tip of the iceberg. I'm here to speak to you about another set of repercussions, those that are dear to my heart as a psychologist. Please listen carefully, because if you care about the safety and well-being of our students, your efforts must go beyond concern about transmission of COVID-19 as your only singular objective. We cannot simply ignore every other real consequence of keeping our students at home. Students do not have a shelf life. You can't dust them off and bring them out next year and think they'll be just as good. Our students in remote learning are at high risk for many other negative outcomes, and these outcomes are already happening in our community. They're already at play. Let's start with physical health. The entire fabric of our children's lives is being changed. No place is this more real than in the state of Illinois, where youth sports have been entirely shut down since March. Drama, music, many other extracurriculars closed, gone remote. When you take away all of those things, what do you think happens? A lot of bad habits get formed. Let's start with sleep. New science is showing that increased digital media device exposure leads to the biological clock getting mixed signals about day and night transition, which makes it difficult to fall asleep. When you can't sleep at night, guess what? You sleep during the day. When I come home from work, it's not unusual to find not 1, not 2, but all 3 of my kids sleeping during the day. And then they complain that they can't sleep at night. 1 in 4 teens aged 13 to 19 reports that they are having difficulty falling asleep, or they're losing sleep. How about weight gain? The average child in the United States gained 7 pounds during quarantine in the spring. Students at home have constant access to food and little supervision during the day. They aren't walking to school. They aren't changing classes. They aren't going to PE. There's no sports or activities to offer structure and exercise. Should we be surprised that pediatric obesity is on the rise? Does anyone need to hear the long list of serious health problems that will be faced by this generation of quarantined children? How about risky behaviors? Hundreds, if not thousands of teenagers being left at home unsupervised all day. Do you think these students are taking COVID precautions? But maybe that's not our biggest worry. My husband is going to give me his 3 minutes. Research is already showing increases in risky behavior. Vaping, drinking, smoking, illicit drug use, all on the rise. You know why kids report they turn to substances? Boredom and stress. Do you think these kids have reasons to be bored and under stress? Now let's get to the mental health repercussions. Rates of anxiety, depression, and teen suicide all on the rise. A full 1/3 of teens during remote learning are reporting increased symptoms of depression. Social isolation. More than 1/4 of teenage students report not feeling connected to anyone. 1 in 4 teens and young adults report having contemplated suicide in the last 30 days. 1 in 4. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in youth 12 to 17 years of age. These are our kids. What are we doing? We should be sounding the alarm. There's been a lot of talk about the need not to overwhelm health systems. Well, I can tell you at Lurie Children's Hospital, we are overwhelmed, but not with COVID. We are overwhelmed with referrals to our behavioral health department. We are overwhelmed with referrals to our pediatric obesity clinic and the fatty liver program. I can tell you in my division of developmental pediatrics, psychologists and social workers are going home in tears because they're spending their day trying to talk parents off the ledge. Kids with special needs who have the highest needs are not getting services or appropriate instruction. Right here at T99, we sit on adaptive pause. If these opinions are not enough to convince you, then let me end on one more point. Back in August, one of our school board members remarked that she did not want on her conscience even one student who contracted COVID-19. What I say to her, what I say to all of you, does your conscience have enough room for all of the negative repercussions of keeping our students out of school? These are not hypotheticals. These are realities. Which list of risks do you want to live with? COVID-19 has a 99.997% survival rate in our youth. If you care about the safety and well-being of our students, your efforts have to go beyond transmission of COVID-19 as your only objective. As a parent, a member of this community, and as a mental health professional, I am asking the high school districts in 99 open on January 5th with an aggressive plan for full in-person learning. It's the right thing to do, and it's time. Thank you. Okay. If I still have 30 seconds, then I'll point out what the experts are saying. American Academy of Pediatrics, their official position, the benefits in school far outweigh the risks of coronavirus. Dr. Fauci, the default position should be to keep the children in school and get them back to school. Director of the CDC, Robert Redfield, the safest place that our children can be from our perspective is to remain in school. It's every bit as risky to have students at home, fraternizing with their friends, not wearing a mask, not socially distancing. Thank you.
My name is Amy Romano. Today I came on behalf of my daughter. I worked out at 5 o'clock in the morning at a gym, and my daughter works out at the same gym. The other thing is, I went to the office today. I work in the office. I've been in the office since March. I haven't had a day off. And I see Terry playing with her hair and doing stuff. This is serious. I'm here because my daughter, who's a senior, their kids are not participating in class where they have breakout sessions. She is doing the brunt of the work and she is being bullied. Don't talk to me. I'm busy playing video games. I'm doing this. You make these kids out that they have the scarlet C brazen on their chest, that they are outcast of society because of COVID. I have run into friends picking up carryout. Have your daughter reach out to my daughter. She is not doing good mentally. And you know what? My daughter is doing okay, but she's not strong enough to carry everybody. You are responsible to get these kids back. Math cannot be taught online. It belongs in school. Science classes, chemistry, physics cannot be taught online. There's tiles of 30 kids. How do you know if they're succeeding and thriving? You have counselors, you have all these sources. How many of these counselors are checking in weekly with these students? I know you have the resources, but the kids don't reach out to them. You are the adults in charge. Act like it. Do something for these kids. The parents have been left to pick up the pieces. It's falling on them. And mental health has tanked. There are kids that are traveling to other states to participate in sports. What does that say to you? And you think that, oh, there was a party, so we have to close down the school. You are driving these kids to find alternatives, to find something and some hope. And some of these kids are being bombarded with homework. And you know what? The amount of homework given does not show the value of a teacher, the value of a class. This year, we've been very fortunate. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to address the board? We have nobody else in the room that wishes to address the board. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Thank you all for your comments. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Dr. Thiele?
No, I had nothing more to add at this time.
Okay, at this time, we need a motion to go into closed session for the self-evaluation practices and procedures or professional ethics when meeting with a representative of the statewide association of which the district is a member. Do we have a motion? Terry moved. Terry moved?
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, I couldn't. Did I hear Dan?
Sherelle, I believe Sherelle second.
Sherelle? Sherelle seconds.
Pevasich,
Aye.
Cheryl Fuller,
Aye.
Dan Nicholas,
Aye.
Rick Pavanato,
Aye.
Joanna Vasquez Drexler,
Aye.
and Nancy Kupka.
Aye. We will go into closed session. When we come out of closed session, there will be no action taken from the board. You're certainly welcome, if you're still in the audience, to stay, but we will only be adjourning when we come out of closed session.